legacy as I take off. All right.
Okay.
All right. Got you. Thanks. I got a couple recorder ready, but the more the merrier. That's fine. All right. Okay. Go back to my little drawing here. Okay. Let me know when you start it. So then I'll.
It's good. It's recording.
Okay. We're good. All right. So again, up here is the what, right? So Maximo, when we talk about preventive maintenance, a lot of times we misconstrue to understand their work orders, right? PMs. I'm doing a PM. However, Maximo's terminology, when we talk about PMs, we're gonna build this pre-scheduled event here to generate those work orders, right? So preventive maintenance application requires that we do provide the what. It also is going to determine the frequency, how often we're going to generate the work order, what type of work order we're generating, who's going to execute it, who's paying for it. And today's majority of the class will spend on the job plan. That's what Maximo calls the set of tasks that we need to perform when we get to that what, whether it's a route, location, or an asset, right? So we're going to quickly, and I mean quick, we're just going to kind of look at where routes are located so you can kind of just conceive of that concept if you're going to proceed and take the rest of the PM classes. The second session of PMs, PM2, is spent entirely on discussing using routes. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to log into the training site. This morning's class, I got booted out towards the end. I don't know if it was my internet connection or the VPN. So if it does happen, just hang tight. I'm gonna just, I'll find another URL and log back in, but just in case, okay? But sometimes I'll be talking, it just happens. So, all right. So I'm in the
Hey,
main
Karma,
start set.
are you recording this, or can
Oh,
someone record this?
Isaac is. So yeah, everybody
Okay,
could grab it off the page when we're done. All right.
awesome. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna log in and job plans. I got them listed up here, right, along with the routes. But you can locate those two applications in what I'll call the planning module here. So we got job plans and routes. And what I'm going to do is just see where I'm located today. I'm in Midland. All right. So I'm going to go to routes. Anytime during the class, speak up if you have a question. Obviously I didn't see you raise your hand, so I'll check back on the chat periodically to see if we have a question. So we'll do it. All right. All right. Simply, I'm just going to, for overview, right? I'm gonna hit enter. We're gonna walk through a couple different facts. So we got over 13,000 in Midland. So I'm gonna switch, and it's just a way to kind of get an idea, the usage itself. So you got 9,000 in Washington, and we'll go out west, northwest. About 4,000, and Hawaii. We got a couple of thousand. So everybody's using them, right? Depends on what extent, right? So there are two types of routes that I explained. We're going to look in detail on PM2. So it's simply, I'm going to pull, here you go. Let's check it out. Right. So you see here, multiple assets, right? This group of assets can be assigned to a PM. I'm going to jump back to that diagram, right? The work order will get generated for that group of assets. So because we can generate a work order for multiple assets, it allows the PM manager, he or she, to kind of group the work as they see fit. It could be used in facilities for, excuse me, I'm fighting a little cold here. And let's say rooftop, you can do a mechanical room, you can do a series of fan coil units and a BQ. Like, so there's multiple uses. And again, PM2, that's all we're going to talk about. All right. So I'm just going to pull up the application, show you where it was. There are basically two methodologies. Either we're going to generate a work order for each one of these route stops, or we'll assign one work order and it'll contain all these assets, right? This middle one, we really don't use. All right. So we will be focusing on either child work orders or what we like to call the multi-asset type work order. All right. So just to consider as you jump into the PM logic that you can generate or create a PM to multiple assets at one time. It doesn't have to be one-to-one. All right. That's really the only purpose of today's introduction. PM2 will go through generating a route, creating it, which ones we should use, when to assign it, how to create one work order style or the multiple work orders, okay? So now we're going to go back to the planning. That was just simply that put. We're going to go here to job plans. All right. Now I got a great audience today. These are the experts, right? So anytime ask a question, right? So I get to this point here and I don't know what you all see, but see, I'm in Hawaii, okay? Take a break for 1 second. Okay. So the challenge, I think, is basically to find the job plan. All right. So when I get to this application, for me, I have multiple site access. Look, it doesn't report my default site here when I search. Right. So I don't know the situation for anybody else. I believe if you're a single site user, you would probably get the site there because that's the only one you have. But when I search, I need to include that site. And since I'm looking in Hawaii, I'm going to place that in there, right? The other thing, feature, job plans have statuses. We can have one job plan that we revise 4 times and we'll have basically 5 copies, the original plus the 4 revised versions. The active status represents the job plan that will be used the next time a work order is generated from the PM. So if I find some difficulty with the job plan, it's in active status, I want to revise it. We're going to go through those steps here. But basically, in the middle of me editing the job plan, that version would be in a status called pending revision. And I can make any changes. Meanwhile, the active one is sitting there. And if a PM generates a work order, it's going to use that one until I activate my version that I'm updating. All right. So we want to look at active. Now, here's the question. And I'll take any response also, see, because I want to find a job plan for a exhaust fan, right? Any suggestions for facilities, right? Now, I'm in Hawaii, so the option is I can look by description, all right? That's one of the options. I can clear this again, right? And this version of Maximo allows us to classify the job plan. All right. Now, when utilities came on board, they had the opportunity to classify or specify their assets, and they did that, as well as they used the same classification method for the job plan. So if I need to find a utilities one, we'll get to that. It's pretty straightforward. But facilities, it's always just a task. All right. So if I come in here and I do this, oops, now I'm going to try to find it. All right. Is it that one? Fan coil? Did I say that? Exhaust fan. Here. There you go. I'm going to find that one. You got nothing. All right. So as a new user, all right, what do I do? Put the word fan in here. Okay, you try that. Really? It's got to be one. All right. Now,
Carmine, are
well,
there like, where are the like the corporate like NAFAC, the ones that are the baseline ones that
the
they like?
the standard job plans?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that, but
Okay.
basically, I believe for a user, right? I mean, the exhaust fan has been around for, I mean, since, forever, right? There should be a job plan in here for that. So if I jump to a different site, it's a different method, right? Southeast has classified some. Midland hasn't classified them, but they use the means job plan. So if I go using the preventive maintenance working group frequency sheet, which I'll get to, I'm just showing you, especially depending on where you're at, it's usable or it isn't. All right. So, and I'm asking for the same reason. So if I go here, if I stay with in Hawaii, right? Okay. So now I'm playing this game, right? And I see fan mode. Oh, I got one. I found one. Maybe that's the only one. And I'm just going through it, if someone got the preventive maintenance technician leaves, he or she leaves, and then the new person comes in, it's a matter of their experience, right? They might know that this number means something. I don't know that, right? And so here is the challenge, find them, right? So here's my other method that I do. I go here to preventive maintenance. And I look for PMs assigned to the exhaust fan. And so here we go. Oh yeah. Did I pass it? Yes. Yeah, we'll just try I'm gonna try these, all of these, right? We'll put them all up here. And same for the PM. I'm gonna look for those that are active. Now I'm really just going through this just to so you could see how it would make sense if we all did the job plan the same way, right? It might be easier. But let's let this go. Now, for those folks that have been around for years, they know exactly what job plan to go to. If you ask them, they'll probably know just by, they'll go, look, here they are, straightforward, right? And so, okay, I found them. Now I could download this list here and look up these job plans. So it's not straightforward, but there are different ways to locate existing job plans, right, for a given asset. It's just not it's not identical depending on where you are. So I'm gonna look here. So in Hawaii, if I were to attempt to use the PM working groups list, right? I'm gonna go back to job plans. All right, and exhaust fans. So here's the philosophy. We've developed a sheet by asset type, and I mean it's in theory it's great. Here, exhaust fans somewhere, right here. And I go over here all the way to the right, column V. It says, oh, these are the job plans you should use. This series. All right. I take that back here, place it in. Again, I'm gonna make sure I have the right site and the right status, right? I got nothing. All right. So this sheet's not going to help me if I'm in Hawaii. Now, like Bong mentioned, we can if I can't find one, I'm going to go to the standard library. All right. The facilities library of job plans is in this query, PM working group, job plan library. All right. So I go here. Now I do the same thing. Just place that in there. I have that query, hit enter, and here they are, right? I have quarterly, annual, and semi-annual. For me to bring this into the Hawaii inventory, I would have to check this out, basically duplicate it. We need to leave the library version the way it is, right? And we would pull, let's say, the quarterly, all right? And you don't want to just put your site up here. You want to duplicate this thing, all right? Now, before I do that, I'm going to go to a different FIC, and I'll go to your home base, right? Do the same thing. I won't even put active. Nothing in Southwest either. All right. So, and I'm not, just bringing up issues. I'm basically saying that sheet is great if everybody used the means job plans.
I think
Right.
what it is too, like they might use it, but they'll rename the job plan to something that
Well,
suits their convention.
Well, when they built the means library, they put them in the same way.
Mm.
I mean, watch. So this one here, see, they have these, and these are at Northwest. All right.
Okay.
And if I switch, and all I'm really presenting with this piece of the class is that, hey, they're there, right? Except you have to find them. And to find them, there's not really one road you have to take. So, as a matter of fact, look at this. This says Northwest, right? Look at the work center. It says Europe. What the heck is that? Where did that come from? They might have copied it from there. I don't know. But so every FIC has a certain methodology, right? And like I said, the guys and gals have been doing this forever. They can probably wing off those job plan numbers like nothing. But if it's someone walking into the system, it's not that easy. And so what happens is sometimes people just say, screw it, I'm just going to create another one. Because I can't find, I'm spending hours trying to find one. I'm just going to create one. And then we create another one. So we add it to the list. All right. So if you use the means library, then that spreadsheet is effective. All right. If you don't, you just got to figure out how to find the ones you want to use, just like we did. Either you go to the PMs, you search by description, you talk to your predecessor, whatever it will take, right? When you finally surrender and you go to the library to pull it in, that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to duplicate one from the library, all right? And so, see, here's even South Suite. East has their own thing. Okay, so come down here. I'm going to pull one of these. Where am I? I'm in Northwest. I'm going to go back to Southwest because they don't have one. All right. So I go to the library, put my default in, thumbs up, and I'm going to get the quarterly. All right. Once you have the library or the standard job plan up here, just like Isaac was mentioning, this is the means number. All right, I'm going to copy that number, that part. All right, I'm going to just copy that. Now, you don't, I mean, you can just put your site in here and then basically you're stealing it from the library. All right, you're not checking it out. You're just going to move it over to the Southwest. The idea is to duplicate it. All right, and so I'm going to hit duplicate. All right, and now I'm going to put this number back in here. And I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to come over here, put my site. All right. So when it bounces out of that field, it gives you a thumbs up, basically like it's a unique value in your site. You come down here, you want to make sure each of these panels really represent in the back end the different tables. And so I want to make sure my task also inherited the site. See, and now all these records belong to Southwest. However, for some reason, this never does it. The labor, any material down here in the resource application, you have to come back down here and insert that site before you save it, all right? So I'm just gonna act like I forgot to do it, and I'm gonna save this record. Maximo lets me save it, all right? So the dilemma is now this craft labor line, when you generate the work order, is going to be up at the organizational level, not at the site. And a lot of the reports look for the site to be identical, so it will cause some issues. But look, I can't change it now. All right. Now, what I found out is this: we'll simply just add another row. All right. Put this one in. I'm going to copy this 18 minutes. And I'm going to delete this top one. Save it. All right. So now I'm good. All right. So now I have an electrician, Southwest, 18 minutes. Everything's the same. And this job plan belongs to me at Southwest, and I can edit it. Now, if I want to add special tasks or some local requirements, I can put them in here, and I'm good. It's my version. The library version stayed where it was, no problems. Okay, so those steps they're not in the PET guide, but I do have a handout for duplicating because it does. You want to make sure you check the site each time you do it. And you can take this out here also because this is how they isolate the job plan to come up in that query. All right, so basically now I'm all clear. Now it's Southwest, hood and blower job plan. It's theirs. All right. Okay, so while we're here, I'm just going to go through some of the fields. And the Maximo user guide is included when you register for one of these classes in the email that we send out. There is a URL at the top of the email. This is going to take you to the PDT page where the class description is shown, and then there's a list of materials, whatever this decides to. So down here, you can open it, save it, right click it, save it. You got a Maximo user guide, routes, and the job plans. All right, so these documents, no matter what class you sign up for, that link is going to bring you to the page for that class so you can download the material. Right. So for one time, you get the user guide and you just download it once. You can refer to it. All right. So I'm going to use the user guide for field definitions. It's the most up-to-date list of how the corporation defines the fields so you can use them correctly. All right. So they're there, right? Now I'm going to go back to the application. All right. Straightforward description, right? You're going to see when we do utilities right here. You see this? It's classified. See, it just says distribution systems. It stopped there. You can classify it all the way. I would think. Some of the classifications are limited and not. You can't assign them to job plans, but it looks like that one was. Let me see some. All right, see the difference? Now look at the description. So it changes. And you can stop anywhere. My opinion is, though, this is the safest and most consistent way to identify a job plan because I don't care what's up here, like you were saying, Isaac, right? I don't care what you name it. But if you do this, it's consistent across the entire spec. So if you want to name, put your little PWD smart number, you can do that. But they'll come down here, I'm going to find everything for exhaust fan. And that's how utilities deployed their preventive maintenance program because they already assigned classifications to their assets and they came over here and classify the job plans to link to the asset classification. So it was easier because they come in to the game a lot later and they had the option to do this. Facilities inherited years and years of job plans. They just didn't do it. But they can do it right now when it's in the draft status, or when they revise it, they can update this. To be consistent, though, you still got to figure out by PWD how to really locate job plans, unless everybody plays the game. All right, so I'm gonna do that. Now, it takes a description from the spec, puts it up there, but once I save it, you know, I can change it. I'm just gonna add something. All right. So you can change it once it's up there. All right. Now come down here. Well, here's the revision and the description of that. We're going to revise one. We'll see it. What comes up here is what you put in the, I think it just says revision 2, or what you've done on that revision here. Status, managed by the system. This is default. We don't have to mess with this. This is called occurrence. Now, PM working group, after discussions, how do I identify a job plan that's quarterly? Well, I'm gonna stick it my 2 cents in. The PM really drives the frequency, right? Not the job plan. All right. I don't care what you put on the job plan. You can put quarterly, annual, whatever you want. I can put it on any PM I want. So the frequency really is dictated by the PM. They place the frequency on the job plans. So in case, and this is the case of utilities, right? You have a monthly, semi-annual, annual, 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, right? They're basically stacked. So if I take the monthly and I decide, you know what, I like this semi-annual set of tasks, I'm going to use those every quarter. All right, you can do that. PM dictates the frequency. These are just the tasks I want to use every quarter. Right? You can, I don't care, rename it if you want, but the job plan doesn't really dictate the frequency. It's just showing us where it should end up in this sequence of job plans. So let me see if I find one quarterly. Yeah, of course I probably won't find one, right? Exactly. All right, but it's just telling us that this quarterly, right, is including the monthly tasks. And if I go to the annual, the quarterly task should be in there. So they're basically stacked. So when you sequence the PMs and generate a quarterly, and then you do a semi-annual, it's going to include the task for this one, as well as the task for the semi-annual or annual. So they identified this field occurrence to indicate how we should be using the job plan. It doesn't restrict anything. The other methodology has always been this character at the end was supposed to be how, but a lot of them aren't at the end. You'll see Q dash mod dash. So this is a standard way to identify how we should use it. Now, the problem from the field is that, hey, you don't have everything in here. I don't have 2-year. I don't have every 2 weeks. So a lot of times this is bypassed. All right. But this is one from the library, so we try to stick to the system. All right. So you can put how we should use the job plan here. Classification, we saw what to do with this. Now down here, starting from here, include tasks, start, finish, interruptible shift. All these were in place to interface with the Maximo scheduling tool. All right. So just for discussion, we really don't use these fields. They're on the PM, they're on the job plan. Was to restrict how far you can move the work order start and finish date. All right, but we don't do it. We don't use these. We don't do the scheduling thing. All right, so just jump up here. Again, defaulted. Here's the first really key field we need to discuss right here. This value is what we define as tolerance days. And I'm going to go to the P503, which is the preventive maintenance working guide, and in section 6, you'll see tolerance days somewhere. Here. Right here, all right? So tolerance days, please provide parameters to help planning execution. Basically, I'm gonna add this number of days to my target start date to determine how long the service provider has to complete this work order that gets generated, all right? The duration on the job plan, once placed on the PM, is used in hours to add to the target start date. All right, so I'm gonna go back to, I'm sorry, let me go back to this one first. So quarterly, right, is 25 days, right? But so is monthly, right? And semi-annual is 30 days, maximum of 30 days. And here's 25 in here. So I go back to that PM, job plan rather. And because this is, it's gonna be typically used as a quarterly, right? It could be. I set the duration to 600 hours, which equals 25 days. Okay. Now, if you remember, when I went back and searched for Northwest, these job plans, remember the durations were like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Not good, right? Because the work order gets generated, issued start date of, September 1st at 8 a.m. and I add 15 minutes, you got to be done by 8:15. Well, yeah, okay, that's not going to happen. And the shop will just, send it back, say, look, we can't do that. You've given us, 15 minutes. So we update it on the work order side, but then you should come back to the PM, fix the job plan. So next time it comes out, you get 25 days. And this duration is what's added to that start date. It's not the amount of labor time, all right? Duration is defined as the amount of time I need to complete the task, the work. The way Maximo, at least for me, how I kind of explain it is, if the task is to paint the room, right? I've got to come into the room, I got to prep the wall. So I got to patch, put some spackle, whatever I got to do. I got to let it dry, right? Then I'm going to sand it. I put a coat of paint on. Then I got to wait a few hours to come back and do another coat. So maybe the duration is 2 days. The labor may be, 10 hours. So that's what duration is in the Maximo terminology. So when you have a big job, I have to call an electrician, I got to back off and I come back. So the duration is going to take me a month, but the labor is, 25 hours or something. So down here, here's the labor, right? 18 minutes. That's what it should take to execute these tasks, right? That's labor. This is how much time I'm authorizing the shop to get someone out to do that 18 minutes. Okay, so this is critical. Now, work order priority. Well, I don't know about where everybody stands on this, but basically we don't use numerical work order priority, to tell me how important the work is, right? I have work type, emergency, urgent, routine. I have preventive maintenance work that has target completion dates, right? I think that's, the priority from the shop's point of view is I got to look and see when I should be done with this work. I'm going to push those things up that need to be completed sooner. That's my priority. We like to discuss using this, but we just don't. And so this list is the same, no matter where you see the priority value, whether it's PM priority, work order priority, asset priority, it's all the same, 1 to 5. Maximo uses a detailed formula, like half of the equipment priority and this part, and then puts together and makes a work order priority, but still we don't look at that number today. So my point is you can bypass. You don't have to, consciously figure out, oh, what is the work priority? It's not going to matter. And if you don't put this job plan directly on a work order, it doesn't mean anything because it doesn't pass over to the PM record when you use it. The PM has its own priority that I'll give the same explanation for. We don't use it yet. All right. Responsibility. Really I think it's for searching purposes. If you want to look, oh, I built a bunch of job plans for this one work center. If we have boss contractors on board, this is how you isolate the view for them. When you use their work center, they will only be able to view their job plans. If you build a job plan, you're helping them, build their inventory. You got to put their work center on here. If you don't, they won't be able to see the job plan. Other than that, really doesn't do anything. Now, if I put a work center on here, and again, I take this job plan and put it on a work order, right? It'll bring the work center over. If I put it on the PM, it does not. So I'm assuming 98% of the time we're building job plans to put on a PM record to generate the work order. All right, I'm moving down. Any questions? I know this is kind of tedious, this part, but we're going to go through it now. We're good.
Hey, Carmine.
Right.
So
Yeah.
for the work center, if you do put it in because it is a contractor,
Uh-huh.
the contractor can only see that, but can in-house see their job plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
It works good for us. We see all, they only see theirs.
Okay.
So, got it. And down here are the tasks. All right. So each one of these tasks, you can see typically, even especially these means job plans, right? They start at the point that we're sitting on the asset already, right? There's no travel line in here. There's no access. It's just, hey, check, with operating area. Okay, I'm here already. Task 2. And now they're also, when we build a job plan, you'll see they are given in sets of 10. Later, you can't edit this, right? But for some reason, if I needed to insert a task in between 20 and 30, I could come down here. It comes up with it adds it to the end, but if I want to make it 25, I just add the task, all right? I'll save it, and I'll put it in position right here, all right? So that's the reason it's in groups of 10, right? Because if not, if I had to add one in between here and it was 1, 2, 3, I'd have to delete the remaining 5 of them, and then recreate them all because I couldn't put one in here. So that's why you want to just let it go and set to 10. Leaves you room